I've been advised by counsel that making this video is probably a bad idea and I'll probably get in trouble for it. But the thing is, nobody else is bringing up this point, so I have to do it. And in regards to the whole recast T'Challa, argument, the recast T'Challa discussion, and the whole recast T'Challa controversy, there's a certain aspect in regards to the recast T'Challa issue that needs to be addressed, which is it never should have happened in the first place. There should never have been a recast T'Challa issue in the first place, because this entire argument, this entire discussion is a non-starter. This argument and this discussion should never have existed in the first place, because Tony Stark is gone. There's no more Tony Stark in the MCU. Not only is Tony Stark gone, Iron Man's gone. Tony Stark and Iron Man will never be in the MCU again. They're gone. Iron Man, the biggest character of the MCU, the literal poster boy of the MCU, the most popular MCU character, is gone, is no longer in the MCU. Where's the recast Tony Stark? Where's the recast Tony Stark? There is none. It's like, oh, no more Tony Stark? No more Iron Man ever again? Oh, okay, bye, see ya. They've already got his replacement. His replacement isn't even another person wearing the Iron Man suit. Again, there is no more Iron Man. Tony Stark is now being replaced with Riri Williams. Iron Man is being replaced with Ironheart. Oh, that's fine, no problem. Now, there are some people who have an issue with it being Ironheart, but the idea of there being somebody else replacing Iron Man, whether it was War Machine or Ironheart or whoever, everybody's fine with it. Everybody seems to be okay. There's no protests. There's no petitions. There's no demanding of recasting of the most popular character in the MCU. Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is gone. There's no more Steve Rogers. Now, there's still a Captain America because, Sam Wilson will be taking over, but Steve Rogers is gone. Where's the recast Steve Rogers? Steve Rogers, Captain America, has what is considered two of the best MCU movies. Oh yeah, thanks Steve. Thanks Steve. Bye. See ya. Just being replaced with Sam Wilson, who's not even really going to try. I don't know how they're going to actually work out the Captain America thing. They're kind of changing him or whatever, but Steve Rogers, major player in the MCU, gone, and you're all like, yeah, okay, bye. Oh, he's gone. Oh, well. Oh, look, they got somebody else to be the new Captain America. Okay. We're not everybody's crazy about it, but nobody's going, oh my God, recast Steve Rogers. Black Widow's gone. Natasha Romanoff is gone. No more Natasha Romanoff. No more Black Widow in the MCU ever again. She's a major player and she had her own movie. It didn't do well because it was during COVID, but no, Natasha's gone. No more Black Widow. Oh, well, okay, bye, see ya. Oh, and by the way, we got your replacement, Yelena. Okay, no problem. Clint Barton, it's gone. No more Clint Barton. No more Hawkeye. What? He's a major player. Well, obviously not as comparable to T'Challa, but again, he was a big character. Yeah, okay, bye. See you, Clint. No problem. Oh, by the way, you're being replaced with what's her name? Kate Bitch. Whatever. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Disney getting rid of major characters is an established aspect of what they do in the MCU. T'Challa is just simply the next one in line. The fact that the MCU has killed off other characters, including major characters, big actors, characters, unfortunately, no matter what you think, characters that were bigger than T'Challa are now gone and no longer part of the MCU. Some of them have their mantles changed hands. No more Steve Rogers. No more Tony Stark. No more Clint Barton. No more Natasha Romanoff. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So the idea that there's no more T'Challa should not be a shock to any of you, because the MCU having their characters no longer be in the MCU is something they've already established that they do. You know this. Not only do you know this, you've accepted it. You've come to terms with it. You have accepted that there is no longer Tony Stark in the MCU. You have accepted that there is no longer Iron Man in the MCU. You have accepted that there is no longer Steve Rogers in the MCU. You have accepted that there is no longer Clint Barton in the MCU. You have accepted that there is no longer Natasha Romanoff in the MCU. You already know that there are MCU characters that are no longer in the MCU. You have already accepted the fact that there are MCU characters that are no longer in the MCU. You understand that Disney has gotten rid of MCU characters and will never have them in the MCU ever again. Now, I know where you're going. Oh, no, it's not fair. It's two different things. See, with those other characters, the actors chose to leave. With Mr. Boseman, it's different. He unfortunately passed away. He didn't get to choose that. They ended up doing it for him. So what? So what? Hate to break it to you, RDJ does not own Tony Stark and Iron Man. If Disney wanted to go, yeah, we want to keep milking Iron Man. Yeah, Tony Stark doesn't die in the movies. He just has some accident and we're just going to have him do facial surgery and we're going to have another actor keep playing the Iron Man character. They could have easily have done that. Why wouldn't they want to keep milking their biggest character? The problem was RDJ is so intertwined and connected to Tony Stark that you can't replace Tony Stark with another actor because they're too connected. The actor is too connected with the character. Do you see where I'm going with this? Steve Rogers did not have to be sent back in time and be written out of the MCU. Natasha Romanoff did not have to die because her death in the movie was literally irrelevant. It was so shoehorned in and was so forced that it made it irrelevant. Natasha did not need to die. Tony did not need to die. Steve did not have to go back in time, and Clint did not have to wander off into the sunset, into retirement. If Disney wanted to, they could have had all four of those characters be in some type of accident that would have caused them all to have, reconstructive facial surgery to have them all look like the new actors that they were going to be replaced with. The problem is these actors are too synonymously linked to the characters that the audience wouldn't have accepted it. And Disney went, you know what? It's just easier to just get rid of them and replace and find replacement characters for them with different actors. The MCU has done this multiple times already. What the MCU did with T'Challa, the MCU has already done with other characters. The MCU has established that when an actor is no longer going to be portraying the role of the character, they retire the character. When RDJ left, they retired Tony Stark. When Chris Evans left, they retired Steve Rogers. When Jeremy Renner left, they retired Hawkeye. When Scarlett Johansson left, they retired Natasha Romanoff. Well, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman is no longer able to portray the role of T'Challa. So what did Disney do? Well, Disney did what they did every other time an actor was no longer able to portray the role of the character. They retired the character. They've already set that precedent. Why Disney didn't use that as an explanation as to why they didn't recast T'Challa is beyond me. Now, don't get me wrong. The justification and how Disney has handled it is absolutely pathetic and garbage and deserves to be called out and trashed and exposed for all of the lies and the hypocrisy and the bullshit and the stupid that it was. I'm not defending how Disney handled it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But as far as Disney's concerned, they've already done it multiple times. They retired Tony Stark. If they figured that they could retire Tony Stark and the audience wouldn't have and the audience didn't have a problem with it, why would they think that if they retired T'Challa the same way they retired every other character, that there would be an issue? And at the same time, if you as an audience are aware that the MCU retires the character after the actor is no longer available to portray the character, why are you suddenly surprised that they did it with T'Challa? There's no reason to have expected otherwise. I understand that the circumstances in regards to why Chadwick Boseman is no longer able to portray the character of T'Challa is different. The problem is it's irrelevant because the end result is still the same thing. Despite how and why Chadwick Boseman is no longer able to portray the character of T'Challa, the end result is still Chadwick Boseman is no longer able to portray the role of T'Challa. And what's Disney's solution to that problem? Retire the character. There is no reason to have expected anything different. You should have no more expected Disney to recast T'Challa as any of the other characters. Because like I said, they did not have to kill off Tony Stark. If Disney wanted to keep Tony Stark going, Tony Stark wouldn't have died in the movies. They would have kept him alive. But there was no expectation of them recasting Tony Stark when they killed him off. When it was known that RDJ was no longer going to be playing Tony Stark, there was no expectation of, oh, they should recast Tony Stark. They shouldn't kill him off. Oh, Chris Evans is leaving. He doesn't want to be Steve Rogers anymore. Well, they shouldn't write him off the MCU. They should recast him. There was no expectation of recasting Tony. There was no expectation of recasting Steve or Clint or Natasha. Well, if there was no expectation for those characters, guess what? There should have been no expectations in regards to when it happened to T'Challa. Well, if there should never have even have been the expectation in regards to T'Challa, then there's no reason for there to have been the issue of recasting T'Challa in the first place. Hence, the whole recast T'Challa issue is a non-starter. It never should have happened. There should have been no more, there shouldn't have even have been the expectation of them recasting T'Challa. Now, I understand that there are other reasons for the whole recast T'Challa that I also have issues with. The thing is, that's getting into sensitive territory, and I don't think me soapboxing my counter argument is an appropriate format because it's more of a discussion or a conversation because there's also personal issues involved. And again, me soapboxing my counter argument, I do not consider an appropriate way of discussing those issues. But that aside, I don't even know where to go from there. I don't even know how to segue back. But I guess it's like, again, there's two main reasons of the whole recast T'Challa. One is to basically counter argue Disney's pathetic way of handling the whole issue and their lame and ridiculous justifications. But the other main issue in regards to the recast T'Challa is there never should have been even the expectation of recasting T'Challa. Hence, there never should have been the recast T'Challa in the first place. Anyway, I said my piece. Take it as you will. Obviously, I'm not intending on changing anybody's mind. That's not the point. I just think it's an aspect of the whole recast T'Challa issue that really isn't being discussed and isn't really being covered. And I figured since nobody else is going to do it, I might as well do it because I'm here for you. I do this for you. It's just the kind of guy I am. Anyway, oh God, now I gotta go see Wakanda Forever. Jesus Christ. Guaranteed, I'm gonna wish I wanted to. Guaranteed, after watching it, I'm gonna wish I boycotted it. But anyway, that's a whole other issue and whatever. Anyway, I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.